I was wondering why you were getting all these calls, and when you were talking earlier in the morning, I was wondering, like, when you tied to the car.
Mr. Hipkins is around. Are you good, mate?
Yeah.
He's here.
I was asking, was this, like, also just for talking?
You were here first, too. You were here first. Yeah, we're good to go. Do you want to stand on the side of it? Yeah, so that way you can also put the side.
Yeah, can you text me? It's about figuring out, so if you can text me, that'd be amazing.
Yep, we can make it. No one's fallen over yet.
Today. No one's fallen over today.
The birth of Princess Anne.
Yeah. It's a John Allen.
There you go.
Just stand down. That's great. Do you want to stand over here? Yeah.
That's right, you can slip
the
in
way
at the
we've
back
colour
whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
All right, kia ora everybody. I've just given my speech to the Auckland Regional Labour Party Conference where I set out a vision for New Zealand through to 2040. So looking back from 2040, describing the sort of country that we can be if we're willing to make the right decisions now to lead us there. We can be a clean, green, sustainable, prosperous country in which people who are working hard can actually get ahead. But we need to make the right decisions now for that to happen. We need to be investing in our infrastructure. We need to be investing in our people. We need to be making sure that we're taking big decisions now around tackling climate change so that we can reap the rewards from that further down the track. We can create good, well-paying jobs for New Zealanders so that those who are working hard feel like they are getting ahead. There's a lot of Kiwis at the moment working really hard who feel like they're going backwards. It doesn't need to be like that. We can actually create a country where people can get ahead through their hard work, where we can leave the next generation of New Zealanders with a country that's richer, more prosperous, and more set up for the future than ever before. So that's the vision that I set out, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
I guess for many Kiwis that are struggling right now, I guess what would be your advice to them? Because 2040 is quite far away for them when they're struggling in 2024.
Yeah. But the thing about setting out a vision for 2040 is you don't have to wait till 2040 to start to see the benefits of that. If we're willing to work towards that, if we start working towards that now, we can start seeing the benefits of that. If we really focus on our clean, green, sustainable economy, for example, making sure that we are the most sustainable food producer in the world at a time when consumers all around the world are looking for that from us, then we can make money off that. We can create good, well-paying jobs as a result of that. If we create the right conditions so that our tech nomads want to be based here in New Zealand and those who are already here in New Zealand can work globally around the world whilst enjoying the quality of life we've got here to offer in New Zealand. Again, we're creating good, well-paying jobs in the process of doing that. If we really get behind our creative sector, our creative industries, we know that there's so much potential here in New Zealand. If we look at what our film and television industry has achieved in just a short space of time, there's so much more potential there. But it does require a government with vision, a government that's willing to back Kiwis to get out there and chase those opportunities, and that's what a Labour government will do.
And you mentioned also about electric vehicles wanting to be electric by 2040. Would you be able to elaborate on that? Because obviously we're seeing that tax has gone up and that's deterring quite a few EV, well, I guess people to go to EV or go electric because they don't want to pay that tax.
A year ago, New Zealand was a world leader in the uptake of electric vehicles. We were transitioning to a more sustainable approach to transport faster than many other countries around the world. And in a very short space of time, this new government have undone all of that progress. We've seen the market for electric vehicles and for renewable energy and transport really falling away, and that's because of the decisions that this government have taken, removing the clean car discount and then bringing in road user charges for electric vehicles pretty much at the same time, really cooled off the uptake of electric vehicles. Whilst over time, the Labour Party has always been clear, we do think we need a sustainable way of funding our roads, and that meant that things like road user charges, we did need to do something around renewable energy use and for transport. Doing that at the same time as taking away the clean car discount really has been a double whammy for the uptake of renewable energy and transport.
And for the Interislander, what is your views or what is your vision for that? Because obviously we've seen over the last few months that they've had a lot of breakdowns.
Yeah. The decision by the government to cancel the 2 new ferries before figuring out what they're going to do instead was recklessly irresponsible. We need a robust, rail-enabled inter-island connection. If we don't have that, we're actually going to be losing a significant and vitally important economic link between the North and the South Island. Nicola Willis talking about a Toyota Corolla option. What she's effectively saying is that she wants another clapped out second-hand model running the Cook Strait ferry services. That's not going to serve New Zealand's interests. We actually need that inter-island connection as a vital connection between the 2 islands.
Do you think what they've proposed is detrimental?
Well, they haven't actually figured out what they're proposing yet, and that's the problem. So cancelling things is easy. Figuring out what to do instead is actually the harder part, and the government haven't done the hard work of figuring out the alternative before cancelling a whole lot of stuff. This government's going to look really bad if actually, when they do the analysis, it comes back and says, well, actually the two new ferries were a pretty good deal, and it was the wrong decision to cancel them.
Do you think, obviously going into your 2040 vision as well for crime, you talked about rehabilitation, making sure that there's care facilities out there for not only families and more, I guess, systems in place to prevent crime. Do you think the way the current government is going about it is wrong?
The evidence around the world is really clear. If you tackle crime by locking more people up for longer, then ultimately you end up with more crime. That's not just the experience here in New Zealand, it's the experience around the world. The countries who have the highest proportions of their population locked up tend to have the highest rates of crime. Actually, the countries that have less crime have much greater focus on rehabilitation and crime prevention. That's what we should be doing here in New Zealand. Yes, there are some people who should be going to prison, and some of them should be going to prison for a long time. But actually, we've got to make sure that we're doing, really high quality rehabilitation. We're tackling drug and alcohol addiction, which is a huge part of what's driving crime in New Zealand at the moment. If we really want to get tough on gangs, then let's go after drug addiction, because gangs make a lot of money out of peddling methamphetamine. If we really tackled drug addiction, we'd be choking off a major revenue source for the gangs. If we get serious about these sorts of things, that's how we can reduce crime. We'll have fewer victims in the first place if we do that.
And do you think how the current government is going about tackling gangs, do you think that's appropriate?
The continuing work that we have done, it's difficult to see what they're doing that's new. They're doing a bit of rebranding here, so setting up their new sort of gang units across the country. We had gang people, teams working on organised crime across the country when we were in government. I went and visited every police district in the country and saw firsthand the work that they were doing. Over 50,000 charges have been made against gang members over the last couple of years. Thousands of firearms have been confiscated. The police are doing a good job. The key is making sure they've got all the tools they need. We've got a government at the moment that aren't committed to giving the police the pay and then the conditions that they need to do a good job.
Do you think there's a massive concern that our police force, some police might go over to Australia?
It's long since time the government settled the police's pay claim. We made an effort to settle it before the election. We weren't able to. The government have been in office now for 6 months. It's well and truly well past time that they actually got on top of it. They settled the pay claim, and they made sure they were focused on retaining the police that we have now.
A little bit off topic,
Yeah.
but we have, unfortunately and sadly, All Black religion has died today, Sid going. I'm wondering if you have a tribute.
No, look, I don't. Sorry, I've only just. I hadn't heard that news. That's very sad news. I know that the All Black community, our rugby fanatics across the country, do follow these things really closely, and I'm sure that they will be feeling the loss. I know that the All Blacks whānau will be feeling that loss today as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody good?
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
No problems. Cheers.
The first All Black name I ever knew was Sid.
Yeah.
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 I should have.